OK, Miss Great Britain, it doesn't matter, it's still pretty hot.
I was only in the finals, that's all.
This is Jean here, this is Jean.
No, it isn't.
This one here.
Take your finger off me.
Sorry.
That's you, isn't it, Jean?
Yes, it is.
How great does Jean look then and now?
Great eyebrows, Jean.
Oh, well,
Great eyebrows.
Yeah, they're quite good.
Great eyebrows. Anybody else looking at her eyebrows?
They frame your face. Anyway.
How did you do?
It was one of the daftest things I've ever done. A man saw a photograph in the paper. He called my agent. He said, I'd like her to be in the finals of the thing. He got in touch with him. I said, why? He said, well, they're not a very good-looking lot. I said, well, I don't want to be a beauty queen. He said, well, you are not going to win.
Just up the ante.
Oh. And so he said, I'll give you 25 guineas or
there
whatever it was, 5 groats, something. And I went on and did it. And actually, while I was standing there, I thought I might win. But I didn't.
You didn't win. Where did you come?
25th, probably.
25th,
I think there were
But you have
25.
25 guineas? It all matches up. Right.
Now then, for a final film with Ed's friends and Arthur Smith, 2 men separated by the issue of safety. Ed is a safety officer, and Arthur, well, is an accident waiting to happen.
Tonight, the dangerous duo investigate the hazards posed by all things Christmassy, and we promise not to make any jokes about Elf and safety.
Ah.
Well, I've never been much of a fan of Christmas, Ed, but I must admit I've never felt it was that dangerous.
Well, most people don't, Arthur. But at Christmas, there's a whole cocktail of hazards in the home, ranging from the high-stress area of the kitchen, Christmas trees, lights, fire, food poisoning. It's all there, Arthur.
Welcome to our special Health and Safety Christmas Grotto, designed so that Ed can point out the basic hazards. Incredibly, figures suggest that about 80,000 people will end up in A&E over the festive period as a result of accidents at home. Experience tells me that this is going to be a whole heap of problems, is it, Ed, this tree?
Well, Arthur, it's difficult to know where to start. These baubles can break and cut, and children swallow them.
Well, you'd have a job swallowing one of these.
Yes, but you wouldn't have a job to swallow one of those. And to a 3-year-old, Arthur, a tasty morsel.
But apparently it's the tree lights where the real menace lies. Broken bulbs, swallowed bulbs, electric shocks, fire risk. The advice is to make sure your set carries the European safety mark.
The other risk is when you're wrapping the lights around the tree like this, you can pull the tree over onto you.
Well, you'd have to be an idiot to do that.
It's easier done than you think.
Happy Christmas, Ed.
Well, happy Christmas, Arthur.
There can't be any danger in unwrapping presents, can there, Ed?
When you unwrapping presents, I'm doing now, we're going to chuck the paper out of the way to make room for the next one. And it's on the fire. There you've got an instant blaze. As well as that, of course, there's a major slip hazard here. This is very smooth paper, absolutely typical. It's on the carpet. All you've got to do is, it's as easy as that. Just look at that. It's like an ice rink.
And it's worse when you get the present. It seems many people take the batteries out of their own smoke alarms for the kids' new toys. Right, the kitchen area. This is the real minefield, according to Ed. Novice cooks, sharp knives, booze, and he spotted another problem.
Let's take the turkey. It's got to go in the oven.
Well,
okay?
how hard can that be? The health and safety executives say there are potential hazards in any manual handling exercise. And if you pretend it's cooked, then Ed's concern increases dramatically.
But I'm now lifting something which is scalding hot fat out.
And rather heavy.
And rather heavy at arm's length. Probably the worst lifting position you can have.
It is. It's just a disaster waiting to happen, Ed. I can tell this turkey. And it's not just a turkey dinner which harbours danger. Ed's finely tuned antennae immediately picked up a hazard at our tea table.
Would you like a drink?
Yes, please, go on.
There we are.
Ah.
You can see what's going to happen here, can't you?
Burn your fingers on the cable.
Or my wrist.
But what really sends me crackers are crackers. They're now apparently so dangerous that young children aren't allowed to touch them in shops, and nobody under 16 can buy them. Furthermore, I gather the RAF have to remove the snaps from Christmas crackers before they can send them out to their troops. I mean, that seems insane.
Well, unfortunately, Arthur, crackers are Class 1 explosives under the Pyrotechnics Articles Safety Regulations, and the RAF and the retail trade have to comply with the legislation.
Frankly, it strikes me as ludicrous, that one, and I'm going to prove it to you, Ed. I have here the snaps from 50 Christmas crackers and a fuse. Observe. Let's not forget that Christmas crackers have been designated a Class 1 explosive, the same category as nitroglycerine. I rest my case.
Well, Arthur, here's wishing you a healthy Christmas and a safe New Year.
Cheers, Ed. I suppose setting fire to the Christmas pud's out of the question.
And as a mark of respect, because they're both here in the studio, we've got the high-vis on, the helmets and the goggles. Arthur and Ed.
Arthur and Ed. Now then, Arthur, you spent 5 weeks making these health and safety films. Are you a convert?
I haven't changed my behaviour one iota. However, I do notice I'm a bit more paranoid. You know, I look around here like this, you know, the lights could fall on your head, this table's a bit dodgy, I could slip down here like that.
Careful, Arthur.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Ed sees the whole world in terms of a series of accidents. And
now,
slowly,
Ed,
so do I.
You're a very safe pair of hands. Do you ever yourself, are you ever unhealthy and unsafe? Do you party, dude?
Of course I am. I'm like Arthur, I'm normal. I take the same chances as everybody else. And like Arthur, I'm lucky I've got away with it.
He's the Lola Montez of the Welsh valleys.
Get in there.
I didn't know that Arthur was normal.
Yeah, well spotted. You know, my great-granny used to be in service.
Did she?
Yeah.
What is she doing now?
I think she's now been dead for about 55 years, so not much.
OK, good. Now, come on, we don't want you to break up. It's a beautiful relationship. We want you to carry on. Surely Arthur and Ed the movie. Come on, what's going on? This isn't goodbye, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be smaller than the X Factor, but we'll be pleased with that. I think. Don't you, Ed? You know...
Well, if we get the right offer, Arthur, I'm open.
Yeah.
I'm available.
Ed really is like that in real life. Ed, you're the... Round of applause for Ed. Come on, and Arthur.
Now then, next week, grown-up kids all over the UK, can you take me seriously, Lewis? Travel for miles to be with their parents for Christmas. I'll be doing that. But some will just have to walk downstairs.
More 20 and 30-somethings are living at home than any time in the past 20 years. Comedian Nat Lutzima has experienced the problems of returning to the nest.
As have her parents.
Lutzima.
Hello. You having a good time? Are you all right?
It may look like I'm living the dream. I travel around the country making people laugh. But I didn't dream that at 28, I'd be back living with my parents.
My parents love to clean. Sometimes they do it around me while I'm sleeping, which makes me feel like I'm in a coma and being tended to. It's caring, but creepy.
It's like I lead a double life. By night, I'm a stand-up holding my own. By day, I've turned into a teenager.
I'm not a slob. I just look like one. Half my job is writing, so I don't see why I shouldn't just do it in my pyjamas. It saves on washing.
And apparently, I'm not the only one. There's more and more 20 and 30-somethings living at home.
I said to her, this will always be your home. I just didn't expect her to keep coming back. What is it, the boomerang kids? Yeah, that's what they've turned into.
My boyfriend and I had a lovely little flat in Islington. And it was lovely, but it was very, very little. So we moved out. And we gave ourselves like a couple of weeks to just find a new flat, because that's what it always took, it's just a few weeks. And then there was nothing, and nothing. So we thought, right, we'll just have to go home and wait this out. And 3.5 months have passed, and we're still house hunting. It's ridiculous.
Having you back home can be challenging. We'd got used to our routines and the way we did things.
You've gone weird.
We were happy, we were clean, we were neat, we were tidy. We knew what was happening. Not anymore. You come in, it's like a tornado goes through the house. The most annoying things are her room. The bed, never made. Clothes. Where do all your clothes go? On the floor.
Chair.
I have no idea what's clean, what's dirty.
Crashes about the place like she's a bull in a china shop, you know. You do, Natalie. My paintwork goes to pot when you're in a house.
I'm spending every spare minute trying to find a place of my own. Flat hunting is impossible. The last one I looked at, 27 of us queued up outside to go and look at a pokey flat with an overwhelming smell of socks. And with rents rising, jobs scarce and house prices topping 6 times the average wage, the lure of the parental nest has never been stronger.
Still at my parents' house.
One escape is the pub, at least. My mate's in the same boat and we can drown our sorrows over a pint.
I didn't think I'd be nearly 30 and living at home.
No, it's some sort of horrible chain of events, isn't it? It's like a regression. I pretty much now live in my room, the same room I lived in when I was 14, 15, 16. I now hide in that as well.
What was the worst thing about living at home? Apart from the sense of failure.
Ah, I like the way you throw that in there. Apart from that massive big problem that is, I always feel like I'm creeping around. Like, you know, when you have your own place, you can get home whenever you like. You can do whatever you like. And as an adult, I should be able to do that anyway. But suddenly, you know, I feel like I have to go. Oh, I'm not coming home tonight, or I'm going to be back really late, or you know, you're suddenly treading carefully when you didn't need to.
But my mum and dad are getting fed up too. So I don't think they were too averse to a psychologist turning up to give us some advice on how best to manage the situation.
So have you made an agreement?
No. Well, there is an agreement, you just ignore it.
Yes. So you made an agreement when Nat came back home and proposed it to her?
She slots back into the house. Yes, it's our life. But it's like the mobile phones. How many mobile phones have you had? How many diaries have you lost? How many purses and wallets have you lost?
But do these things matter in Nat's life?
No, because she phones her dad up and dumps all the problems straight onto him.
Oh, that's not
do.
Fair. But does Dad fix them?
If I can, I will. If I can't.
Finances?
Should you?
Yes, for a quiet life.
For you?
For me.
A parent's job in raising children is not to mollycoddle the children, is not to feel needed, loved, and wanted themselves. Raising our children is not about us. It's about what we can do for our kids. And our job really is to make ourselves redundant.
This is taking on a horribly permanent feeling. I seem to be morphing into my mum. Look at me. I'm wearing a Marks & Spencer's check shirt dress and now I'm having a hot chocolate. Options, as you ask, from a sachet. This is Mum's influence. She loves a sachet.
I'm sure she does.
Yeah, my parents wouldn't let me go home anyway.
Get on with it, come on.
As Jean's here, we wanted to go somewhere very posh to see how real life upstairs and downstairs are preparing for Christmas.
So Carrie's gone to Highclere Castle in Hampshire, the location for the other big costume drama this year. You know, the one on the other side that we don't mention? Right, Carrie, have they let you in their house?
Of course they've let me in the house, and what a magnificent stately home it is. Take a look at that. This is Highclere Castle, but whenever I see it on the exteriors, I'm reminded of the drama, which is Downton Abbey, of course. But of course, in real life, this is actually the home of the Earl and Countess Cairngorns, and it's been in their family since the late 17th century. And once you're inside, you really get a sense that it's a family home. We've got the Christmas cards on the table, a roaring fire, the Christmas tree, how lovely. And the lady herself, I have to curtsy here, Countess Cairngorns.
Good evening.
How lovely to meet you. Now, you represent upstairs here, so you've had a long tradition of actually inviting the locals here at Christmas, haven't you?
The 5th Countess used to have 500 local children. I do something a bit different, and I now open it for the air ambulance, and I had nearly 3,000 people last week.
My goodness. How many house guests do you have here at Christmas?
20 to 30.
So that's 30. Thank you very much.
30.
30 house guests means a lot of work downstairs. Now, underneath me are the kitchens. This is Louis Coelho. You are the banqueting manager here. So tell me, Louis, how many Brussels sprouts?
Thousands.
Thousands. How many mince pies?
Hundreds.
Hundreds. That's an awful lot of stuff going on there. Is there a lot of difference between upstairs and downstairs?
It is a little bit now. We've got electricity, we've got gas, we've got vacuum cleaners, so it makes life slightly easier.
So things have changed over the years.
Indeed.
But how many people will be here at Christmas serving?
Around 12 people helping me.
And how many would that have been 20 years ago? Oh, no, 100 years ago.
Around 30 people.
30 people. OK. Well, I think upstairs and downstairs is kind of a bit more relaxed now, isn't it? So, in the spirit of unity between upstairs and downstairs, let's pull a cracker. Back to you in the studio.
All right. Thank you, Carrie.
Health and safety.
Yeah, be careful there.
Tonight, thanks, Jean. Upstairs, downstairs starts Boxing Day, 9 p.m, BBC One.
All right, tomorrow's show, comedian Lee Mack, don't miss it. Thanks to Jean Marsh tonight.